So as you said, I was just in Israel for 4 days. I just got back this morning, and I have to say I am forever changed. Israel is forever changed. Everyone is dealing with a new normal. They're operating under the only thing I can say is a suspended reality. But I want to be clear, I felt safe. For the non-evacuated or whoever is not on reserve duty, they're going to work. The children are going to school. There were daily red alerts and sirens, and you go in and out of the shelters. But again, even when I was in the shelter, I felt safe. And the Israelis I spoke to in the shelter, they told me they've sort of become apathetic towards the sirens. It's become their new normal. However, for the 100,000 civilians who have been evacuated from their home, their new normal is not something that we can even understand. I had the opportunity to meet with members of the Shlomit community and talk to two widows who lost their husbands because they got a call from a neighboring community and they ran in to help. And by doing so, they paid the ultimate sacrifice by losing their life. But they saved every member of the kibbutz that they ran in to save. These men served on the Eshkol Council. They were builders and farmers and fathers and friends. But yet the widows told me that they cannot wait to go back to their home, to the houses that their husbands built with their bare hands. I also had the opportunity to go to the Dead Sea, where 11,000 evacuees are living in hotels. There we met with people from Sderot and Eshkol, the communities that were evacuated as a unit, like Sderot. There are 6,000 of the 11 are from Sderot, and they're keeping together, they're supporting each other, their needs are being met, but yet there are many other communities that are there and they're spread out all over the place and they're struggling. It's a little harder. They don't have that unified voice, but they're creative. The spa has become a kindergarten. They're creating, the mall has become a school. So they're making it work, but it's not sustainable. Like, imagine living in a hotel for 33 days with 4 people in a room and maybe your dog, and you don't have laundry, you don't have your own kitchen, you barely have the items that you need, and it's just, it can't go on. So for many people also, this week for the evacuees was the first week that they're going back to school. And as I said, some are in tents, some are being absorbed in the cities that they've been evacuated to, and the anxiety is high because this is the first time the parents and the children have been separated from each other. But then think of the kids that are going into the class and they're looking around at the people who are not there because they were either killed or they're kidnapped. So the psychological needs are vast and going to last for a long, long time. So I saw this and a lot more, but I want to talk about 3 takeaways that I got from the trip. The first that was kind of shocking to me is that everyone I spoke to who had each experienced trauma was worried about us in the diaspora. They kept asking, what's happening in New York? What's happening on the college campuses? What's going on? I can't believe what's happening. And then in conversations together, we kind of all agreed that it's actually safer in Israel than it is there because they know who their enemy is. Here, their enemy looks like me. So, that was a little shocking. And the second was, that also impacted me, was the consistent message that I heard from the affiliates, from our JNF affiliates, that we are the only ones with boots on the ground. That when we asked them, what do you need? And we sent the money immediately. And then they know also that not only are we with them before, that they know we're with them today, but they know that in the future, we will be with them as well. And just to give you an example, I don't know if you've been on these calls before, I met with the same woman that Jeff and Tali met when they went that first week. And she was a woman who was evacuated from one of the communities in Eshkol. She was one of 6 who survived, was in a shelter that a grenade was thrown and 30 people were killed, and she was one of 6 who survived. And she told me that if it wasn't for the psychological services that she got in Ramat HaNegev on day 1, she doesn't know how she would have survived, because they asked for it that day and we said, here, you take what you need. And just also to note, just to give you perspective, because it was mind-blowing to me, this kibbutz Mashavet Sadeh that they are living in now was a kibbutz of 600 people. They absorbed 800 new people, over doubling the amount of people who are living in this community. And my last point that I realized is that there is so much work that we can be done. We have spoken on these calls about food insecurities between the Thai workers that fled and the Palestinian workers that cannot come back into Israel, and the hundreds of thousands of people who are serving in the IDF and the reserves. Their farms are in critical condition, but we can help, and we are going to help. As Saul said, starting December 10th, we are sending weekly volunteer missions to Israel. There'll be 4 days, 4 nights, working in farms, visiting in hospitals, working on an IDF base, going to visit the people at Adi Negev. We will do whatever is needed to be done, but these are working trips. This is not a solidarity mission. This is not a mission to make you feel good. If you are ready to work and work hard, then this trip is for you. I want to be clear. This is not a solidarity mission. You've got to be ready to work hours a day in the field, in the hot sun. And if you want to do that, come with us, because we're going to have this. It's going to make a huge impact, not only on the people, but I'm telling you, you will also be forever changed when you come back. Thank you.